All right, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. Now, the Texas Longhorns are going to face off against the same Houston State Bearcats on Saturday, and quite frankly, this game feels a little bit bigger than it should. Texas has struggled in recent weeks, and they're looking to bounce back versus same Houston State. So, we're going to be talking about this game here in a second, and we're going to be going over the game info. But if you like the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below your thoughts on Sam Houston State and Texas playing, and then also give me your predictions for the game. Want to see those down below. And we'll start right off with the game info. Darrell K. Royal Stadium is finally getting a night game. Now, we're already 3 of 6 games in. This is halfway mark. We will not have a game through all of October, which is wild. But get a 7 p.m. kickoff. This game is not going to be on cable networks. So it's on ESPN Plus or SEC Network Plus, which is basically ESPN Plus. So you're going to have to stream to be able to get this game or to be able to watch it. We'll have the every play up probably the next day or late in the morning. We'll see about how soon I can get that one out. Sam Houston State, we're going to go, look at all their players right here. Now, one second. Yeah, that's a lot better. The Sam Houston State leaders, stat leaders, passing Hunter Lawrence, rushing Hunter Lawrence, they're a lot like Texas in that regard. The running backs haven't really stepped up to the level that you would want your running backs to step up to. Hunter Lawrence also, I believe, has only played 2 or 3 games. So this is a team that's really kind of a lot like Texas, but to a lot worse degree. They're still trying to find out a lot of their offense. You don't like to see, you're going to see right now receiving Elijah Green. Well, that could be a receiver, right? No, that's a running back. In my opinion, I just don't think it's a good thing to have your lead passer, your lead rusher be a quarterback, and then also your lead receiver being a running back. That's just that tells a sign that's a sign of, hey, maybe this offense isn't as good as you would want it to be. If you're a Sam Houston fan, if you're a Texas fan, looking good. Uh, Number 21, Elijah Green, 48% of running back rushes, 55.4%, 54.5% of running back targets. He is your lead running back. Now, Alton McCaskill was the lead running back in game one. Uh, you haven't seen him in game since. That was Western Kentucky. His health status, I've looked. I mean, it's kind of hard to find this stuff, but he could factor into the game. Could, I don't know. I haven't seen too much on it, but I'm going to operate as Elijah Green is the running back one, 48% of rushes. 26% of running back rushes go to Landon Brown. He is your running back two on this team. He's also 36.4% of targets to the running back position. These two, Elijah Green and Landon Brown, are the two main running backs that you're going to see. Those are the names that you really need to remember if you're paying attention. Uh, Sam Houston State, this says running backs, but it's the wide receivers. The 11 Malik Phillips, he is their lead wide receiver. You're going to see in a second lead returner as well. Only 1.2 yards per route run, so not as efficient as you would want to be, but he is still, again, clearly number one wide receiver. Avion Smith Mack, 19% of targets as well, right around there, 1.1%, 1.1 yards per route run. Again, that's just not the efficiency that you want to see. But Grady O'Neill does have that with 2.0 yards per route run. That's not bad. 2.0 is probably, especially for when you're considering Sam Houston, that's probably a really good score. Really good efficiency number. 13.8% of wide receiver targets, so he doesn't get as targeted as much as these others, but he does, and he is the leading wide receiver or leading yardage guy. When you're looking at their tight ends, it's pretty. One second. There's only one tight end that we really need to worry about, Rayfield Lawton, and he's 40% of tight end targets, 4 of 10. But he has 2.2 yards per route run, and I believe he is actually the leading receiver overall, yardage wise. So while they do have almost like a three-headed monster at tight end, there's only really one tight end that's really, I would say, a threat in the passing game. Looking at the defense, Amon Allen, 65.2% of targets against cornerbacks on their defense. he's the guy that gets picked on this the defense. You're going to want to look to the wide receiver that's playing across from number 7. 139 yards allowed. That's second highest on this team. Highest on this team goes to number 0, Alonzo Edwards, who is playing safety. Again, 41% of targets against his position. 222 yards allowed. These are the guys that Texas is going to try and pick on in coverage. Just quite frankly. And oh my goodness. Missing number for Diaz, but Jahmyr Diaz, number 1 on the team. Literally number 1. 28% of the front 7 pressures from the defensive ends, defensive line, linebackers. So when you're talking about guys that are going to be getting after the quarterback, Arch Manning, Diaz, number 1, he's probably the guy that's going to be doing it. He has 6 hits on the quarterback. He is easily their best pass rusher when you're talking about the front, not just front 7, but the entire defense. Might be the best defender on their team. Did also want to point out, they got some damn cool names. Antavius Fish, Tokyo Gordon. Hey, look, those are some cool names, man. So, moving on to the returns. Again, Malik Phillips, 6 of 8 returns, 32 long. Much like Texas, they have not fair kicked a single return all year long. Now, punt returns, they do have 2 fair catches, but 4 of the 6 returns that they've done have gone to Amon Allen. So, when you're looking at this, Malik Phillips is probably their most dynamic offensive player on the field. But it's a matter of can he get open, and can he also, when you're going back and looking at these numbers, can he get that efficiency? We'll have to see. But so Texas, yeah, so Texas, don't really have any of those graphics up here for Texas, but what I do have to say is clearly Arch Manning, number 1 rusher. Ideally, you'd like to see a running back doing that, but it is what it is. He's the leading passer as well. Breaking news. Receiving, you're going to see wide receivers. Ryan Wingo was wide receiver 1. He has been. Parker Livingstone's been the second in line in the orders of targets. Then you got DeAndre Moore. Then you also got Jack Andrews at tight end, and then you got a bunch of running backs. But really, to me, I mean, Steve Sarkisian, he's been talking about, hey, we want to get, we want to see how the young running backs. Let me pull up the. Now, so whether you want to look at this as he's saying that these guys are going to, potentially start, or this might be like I said on Twitter, kind of feels like this might be an open tryout week. Just see who wants it the most. But this is from Evan Beath, my co-host on the Inside Texas podcast that we do. Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian wants to see more snaps from his young running backs and young wide receivers. Also wants to see some run from Nate Kibble, Nick Brooks, and Daniel Cruz this week if possible. This really tells me, hey, we want to, at this point, this is a breaking point in this offense. We're about to have a bye week, and then after that bye week, we go into conference play with Florida. This feels like, hey, we have to get this offense figured out. And step 1 of getting this offense figured out is figuring out who wants to be on the field and who wants to produce, right? Who wants to be, who wants to play? Because everybody says they want to play, right? But are you showing me? Show me on the field. And it feels like Steve Sarkisian's saying exactly that. Like saying, hey, our young guys are going to get some opportunities this week. They're going to get some reps. Khalil Lockett, Jamie French, guys like that, Dalen McCutcheon, right? You're going to get some young guys some reps. So how bad do these older guys want it? Do these vets? It's just going to be an effort game. Who's putting forth the most effort, and we'll shape our roster around those guys moving forward. So this feels a very important game for Texas. Not just, figuring out, because obviously you want to get Arch Manning figured out, right? But how are we going to help out Arch Manning around Arch Manning? Because if you get Arch Manning rolling and the wide receivers aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or the running backs just aren't cutting it, it's not going to matter that much. Whatever you got is not really going to be that much of that effective. So Moving on to the statistical matchup. Looking at the offense, I mean, yeah, we're gonna start off with defense first. Defense looking good. Defense is looking really, really good. Now, I said this recently in a video, but I mean, when you're looking at these defensive numbers, you also really need to factor in that this defense, these numbers that you see 18, 20, 17, 23, 11, 12, towards the end of the year, if they continue to have these same, 4.0 yards per play, 10.3 points per game, right? These will all be top 5, top 6 stats later in the year. So this is elite performance that we've seen from this defense. And clearly you can see it's just we outclass this Sam Houston State offense. Just there's no other way to say it, right? Not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. Same goes to the run game. Sam Houston State, we talked about this. Their leading rusher is a quarterback that has played only 2 of 3 games. They are not a good rushing team, and they're going up against a very, 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 very good rushing defense. Passing, they really that is probably it's hard to say they have a bread and butter, but that would be if they had a bread and butter, that would be what it is. It's going to be a hard day at the office for this Sam Houston State team against this Texas Longhorn defense. PK's got them boys playing at a really, really high level. Now, looking at the offense for Texas versus Sam Houston State's defense, this is where really this feels like a big game. Texas has, quite frankly, they've got to take advantage of playing this can of crap laying right in front of them. Like, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to guys, but look, when you're talking about things like things like this, right? 222 yards allowed, 139 yards allowed. You have got to take advantage of that. When there's a can of crap laying in front of you like that, you got to start getting some things going. So looking at the passing game, this is a big week for Arch Manning and the passing attack. Can we start to get these numbers back, to some sort of normalcy for Texas? Now, the running game, it probably is what it is. We'll have to see. It would be nice to see us go have a great week, some nice explosive runs versus Sam Houston State. But overall, I just want to see this overall offense have some effectiveness versus Sam Houston State. That leads us into predictions. And to be quite frank, I don't have any predictions here this week. Arch Manning, if I had to make a prediction, I'd say I want him around 350 passing yards. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Just maybe Steve Sarkisian lets it happen because, hey, if Arch Manning's doing good, we need as much positive momentum moving forward as possible. But around 350 passing yards and 65, really 60 to 70% completion. Let's just give it a 10% range right there. That would be a good day at the office for Arch Manning. I'd be fine with an interception. I wouldn't be happy with it. I would be fine with it as long as we got around. Like, if it's like a San Jose State game where Arch Manning's throwing 4 touchdowns and throwing 1 interception, I can live with that, right? We'll find a way to live. But as for the receivers, man, like I feel like this game is going to be as random as possible. I mean, you might as well just get a dartboard, put all the wide receivers' names on there, and just start throwing darts to see which ones are going to lead the team in targets, lead in rushes. Because it really does feel like, hey, for the running back example, right? If Christian Clark's out there, goes and hits the wrong hole, you're going to see James Simon out there, right? Or you're going to see Jared Gibson out there. So this really feels like such an important week for not only the team, but individually players. Because this week is a week that you can go and earn a lot of snap counts later in the year, especially if you're young wide receiver or young running back on this team. Seeing like Nate Kibble, who had a ton of love from these former offensive linemen that were leaving, like Jake Majors, Hayden Connors, All these other guys, like Kelvin Banks, like all these guys are leaving. They're sitting there saying, "Next up, Nate Kibble, Nate Kibble." So that's a guy that maybe I've been really kind of excited to watch out and see if he can make a dent into this lineup. But man, really feels like a big week for Texas to go ahead and get this figured out. And I want to save my ultimate prediction for last because I do think Texas will go ahead and get this figured out. I do think Archman goes out there and has a good day. We'll see what his supporting cast looks like after this week. But all right, everybody, hope you all have a great day. And as always, hug.